everyone, going to do a book review, something I haven't done before. I normally do them on my blog, Jewel Diva Style, where I'll do multiple reviews of multiple books and give them a grading out of 10. But I thought I'd do a video of The Woman in the Library. Great cover. Now, I think it's Solari Gentile. Not sure how to pronounce her name. But it's a great cover. Great cover, look at that. And it's a great story, but I have some issues with it, as we do. So, it says, 4 strangers, a quiet library, the perfect place for murder. Which it is. I'll just read you the blurb, if I can see it. And then there is a scream, ragged and terrified, a beat of silence even after it stops, until we all seem to realise that the reading room rules no longer apply. Hannah Tagone, best-selling Australian crime author, is crafting a new novel that begins in the Boston Public Library. 4 strangers, Winifred, Kane, Marigold and Wit, are sitting at the same table when a blood-curdling scream breaks the silence. A woman has been murdered. They are all suspects. And, as it turns out, each character has their own secrets and motivations. And one of them is a murderer. Great so far. While crafting this new thriller, Hannah shares each chapter with her biggest fan and aspirational novelist, Leo. But Leo seems to know a lot about violence, motive, and how exactly to kill someone. Perhaps he is not all that he seems. Now, look, it's a great story. The blurb pretty much gives it away in the sense that they are all in the library doing whatever they're doing. There's a scream. There's a murder. Problem is they don't find... Well, actually, no, there's a scream. The body isn't found until later. Well, that's not giving too much away. The way it's laid out, it's got the letters to Leo in between, but then you're kind of jarred in the middle of the book with something about him, which stopped me short when I was reading it. But didn't stop from the enjoyment. Overall, the book is good. I don't want to give it too much away, because obviously there is a murder and it would just be giving away. The blurbs pretty much do these days anyway. But I had some problems with it, and that was a lot of insults. So I'm just going to read off some. On page 15. Now, look, this is the second book I've read recently that mentions Australia and Aboriginals and who owned what and cultivated and blah-de-blah, and we don't all agree with that, and we don't all believe what you want to force down our throat. So please don't put personal opinions like that in books. I mean, you can, but that just turns me off as a reader, and it's the second book I've read with something about it. I don't agree with it. I shouldn't have to have it shoved down my throat. Of course, that's just me. And then over the page, on page 16, there's something all-American about Marigold's smile, wide and quick and optimistic. You can imagine the stars and stripes fluttering behind her when she smiles, almost smell the apple pie. Wits is similar. Kane's smile is different. It's slower, a little wry, and reveals less of his teeth. But they all smile while they talk. That's the difference. I think that's what makes it American. Australians don't seem to be able to smile and talk at the same time, unless we're lying, of course, and then the smile is involuntary, a tell of deceit. What the fuck? You're insulting us about our smiles? You live in this country. I don't know whether you're technically Australian, whether you moved here or you were born here, but you're insulting, and apparently we only smile when we're lying? Fucking seriously? That's just an insult to everyone who can actually smile while they're talking, and it's not involuntary because we're not lying. Fuck, seriously? Insulting people in a book because you think it's funny? I mean, look, I've done a few jokes in different books, but they weren't there to insult people. Here she goes again. Page 22. Leo shakes his head. You Aussies have a dark side. Nonsense. We're friendly alcoholics who like to barbecue and sweat. Now, I know I've joked about Australians being piss pots, but I don't drink. A lot of us don't. I have the odd shandy in summer, which is half lemonade and half beer. 4X, that's what Mum drinks. And that's diet lemonade. But I'm not a fucking alcoholic. So no, we're not all alcoholics. So that's an insult to Australians. Okay, what's next? Oh, yes. One of the old jokes about authors. Let's see. I smile. I've been starving for at least 3 hours, afraid to ask the muse for time off to buy food. She's fickle and easily offended, likely to sulk if I don't give her my complete attention when she's gracing me with her presence. Perhaps that's why writers starve in garrets, because the literary muse is a sadistic fascist. Writers don't starve in garrets, they never have. That was just, I googled that to find out. Apparently it was just a thing started because someone said something. Because supposedly all artists live in garrets because garrets is the only place they can afford to live in. But no, we don't starve in garrets. Ooh, oh, here. Page 49. She insults people who wear berets. Starts down here. Kane takes us to a creperie in Boylston Street. It's styled after a French cafe. Round tables with red and white check linen, candles in wine bottles, and a wallpaper mural of the Eiffel Tower. The clientele might also be part of the decor. Apparently this is the kind of place to which you can wear your beret without feeling ridiculous, regardless of how absurd you look. I used to wear berets. I didn't look ridiculous or absurd. I know the French used to. I don't know whether a lot of the French still do. So if that's the case, you're insulting the French. And you're insulting anyone who likes to wear berets. Was that completely necessary? Page 55. Oh, yes, this was something interesting. Don't really know what sort of opinion to have on this, but I'll read it anyway. This is at the end of a letter from Leo. On less important matters, I received a letter from Alexandra, who says that while she enjoyed reading the opus, she regrets that she cannot offer me representation. I'm not sure she actually regrets it, but that's what she wrote. The reality is, I suppose, that I am a straight white man with no diversity or disadvantage to offer as a salve for the fashionable collective guilt that rules publishing. I understand that popular correctness demands that men like me be denied to compensate for all the years in which we were given too much. I just wish I'd had a chance to enjoy a little of that privilege before it became a liability. Anyway, she said no. So there we are. Yours, Leo. And I can still smile without fucking lying. Okay, that was a wow. That was a wow paragraph. Make of that what you will. The Woman in the Library, page 67. What was this about? Oh, yes. Okay. It's true in a way. Kane and I are probably 5 years older than Wit and Marigold, who couldn't be much more than 21 or 2. How old are you, Marigold, asks Kane. 30. Jesus, you're older than I thought. Kane shrugs. I can't be sure about Freddie, but I still have my own teeth. Wit looks at me, curiosity struggling against social taboo. I put him out of his misery. I'm 27. What social taboo would that be when it comes to age? I'm 48. I have no problem telling people my age. Why should you? Why should anyone have a problem talking about their age? Why is it a social taboo, if this is what she means, to ask women what age they are, how old they are? I mean, is it as bad as assuming someone's pregnant? No, you probably shouldn't do that. Although I certainly have when looking at a larger woman. I mean, I'm large myself. I've had people assume I'm pregnant. But when it comes to age, who gives a fuck? It's your age. Act it. You know? It is not a social taboo to ask someone their age. I mean, half the time you have to for a job. You know, people need to know. You know, when for medical issues, they need to know your age. I mean, seriously. Why is that a social taboo anymore? God, this is just bullshit. I'm 48. Fucking grow up. So, look, there's a few spelling mistakes as well for a trad pub book. Besides all of the stupidity of this that I've just read, give it a go. If you don't care about digs and jokes, I mean, really, as I said, I've made a few in some of my novels, but they haven't really been full on. It's been a joke. So if you don't care, give it a go. I'll give it 8 out of 10. The Woman in the Library. It's a great cover by Solari Gentile. Not quite sure how to pronounce her name. Not sure that matters after she insulted people, Australians, about our smiles, being alcoholics, French and beret wearers. Okay, so it's The Woman in the Library, and this has been a book review. A little different book review than normal.